This is obviously just us guessing. We don't know anything.
We know a lot.
We're just spewing opinions, people.
Well, in fact, I have been right the last 3 years. Hello, everybody. My name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And today, we'll be doing our annual video of...
Who will win? No. Who should win? And who will win?
The what?
The Spiel des Jahres.
We are here with the most coveted award of the year. Now, what is the Spiel des Jahres, or des Jahres? I don't know how to German pronounce it.
No, me neither.
But this is the award. This is what it looks like. You may have seen this logo on boxes because there have been many winners since 1978, which is when this award originated. And to be honest, all those winners have typically been really hot and banging games.
I mean, all of the games deserve the award, so they better be good.
There's a reason this award is one of the most celebrated awards in board game history. Because the games that come out of it are stellar. There are still games that you are probably playing to this day, regardless of what year they were released in. And it is a really coveted... It is the award that any designer and any publisher wants to win and wants their game to win. Here are a bunch of winners of the past that have won in the past.
We're going for it today.
And you know what? I will give a quick shout out to the game that won in 2020, which is Pictures, which I really, really, really like, but it came out during a pandemic and it's a very like social, like you have to do stuff around the table. And I feel
tactile.
like it did not get as much recognition as it should. So I do encourage you to take a look at this game and check it out because it's really good.
But that's past stuff. We're here in the future, 2025.
Or 2024.
Or the present, as people would like to say.
So this is, we have 3 nominees for the Spiel this year. We're going to talk about them. We're going to tell you who we think should win. And we're going to tell you who we think will win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But before we do the should and the will wins, we're going to tell you about the games.
Just real quickly.
Real quickly.
There are 3 of them, and I will bring all 3 of them out.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Okay.
Well, not at the same time, because I can't possibly do that.
With the games at the table, we're going to give you an overview of each one. And we're going to tell you what we think of them and kind of our first impressions playing through them or any of the experiences that we've had.
Yes, exactly.
First up we have...
Flip 7?
The little one, Flip 7.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is Flip 7?
Flip 7 is best described as a board gamer's blackjack. And essentially what you're going to be doing is pushing your luck. You'll get cards in front of you, and the whole idea is you can stop or you can push your luck by taking another card, and you don't want to get any duplicates. The fun part about this is that there's only 1 1, but there's 12 12s. So you have to kind of like look around the table and decide whether or not it's worth it and how much fun you decide you want to have, because why not push your luck? There's also like special ability cards, which are really handy. They can help you, they can stop other people from getting farther than you, and ultimately you're just playing to lock in points over a number of rounds. You're going to want to score, I believe, 200 points, and hopefully you become the victor.
I think where this game really shines is the factor for the big moments.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll flip a 2 and you're like, there's no way another 2 will come out. Hit
Boom.
me. And then another 2 comes out, and you'll be talking about that moment with your friends for a long time.
Yep.
Like sometimes you'll throw a 3 card, get somebody to draw 3 cards, hoping that they bust, and they draw the perfect 3 cards to score a maximum amount of points. Like there's so many various stories that this game can tell, and the ease of introducing this game to other players. Like you're just like, do you want a card? Yes, let's start playing.
Yep.
And then you can explain the rules as the game progresses, and it's just so easy to share and get this game to the table.
Oh, it's extremely easy to get to the table. You can just start playing and then you'll be able to figure it out as you go. And I think that's pretty incredible when it comes to board gaming. There's obviously not a whole lot of meat to it as it is just cards, but it is a lot of fun and it brings everybody together in an incredible way.
Well, obviously there's no meat to it. It's cards. It's cardboard.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Krakel Orakel, which in German rhymes, but in English it does not, because it translates to this.
Yeah, I can't actually remember.
I remember it's something oracle, but I forget what the first word is. Well, in this game, what you'll be doing is you'll cooperatively be working to talk to the oracle. Now, the way that you'll be doing this is on your turn, you're going to, or each round, everyone's going to get a card that will have something on it. And then you're going to draw that on your player board, tracing the pre-existing lines on that board.
Yes.
Now, there's no other rules to that. You don't have to lift your pen off. You don't have to encircle shapes. You just have to make sure all your drawings are on the predetermined line. Now, once 2 minutes is up and everybody's done, you'll reveal your drawings and reveal everybody's cards with a bunch of random cards as well that are equal to that amount.
Yes.
And then, one by one, without discussing, you're going to remove the cards that you don't think are present around the table's drawings. Yes. Which is a really fun element because you're kind of sitting there at the edge. There's no discussion. And you're trying to see, like, what is which player going to receive? Like, what are they interpreting all these drawings as? Is my drawing really coming through? Is it really portraying what I'm trying to do? And I think that part of it is really fun because there's that anticipation level. It also kind of builds that big factor element of like, oh, I can't believe you removed that. It was so obviously the vampire. Do you not see the little teeth that I drew? Like, it's so obvious.
No, we didn't see them at all.
No one saw my teeth. I really enjoyed this game. This is like, drawing is not my skill set. It's not something I'm very talented at. But I'm always really curious at like twists of drawing games. And this game really pushes you to think in a really different way. And I really like the element that you're removing one by one working cooperatively, but there's not a discussion. Because I feel like discussions are always typically dominated by one person and you have to like really negotiate and get people. But like it has to be this, where here everyone's kind of internalizing and making a decision to speak to the Oracle by removing the cards.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It pushes the creative brain a little bit in terms of like deciding how you're going to represent it. There's like at least the first couple of plays, like you learn how to sort of use the lines in your favor, and it's not always making fully complete shapes, which I thought was really cool. Even just hinting towards your card can be really beneficial. Obviously, no words are allowed to be used in this, and you can, in fact, draw letters and numbers out of that, but don't, because it's not allowed.
Not allowed.
And the two phases, particularly like drawing and the guessing phase, I think are really interesting. It did oddly feel a little isolating. So, like, you're drawing by yourself, and then you're guessing by yourself, hoping that, like, the group mentality ended up working out. So maybe for that reason, I am not like the biggest fan of it compared to the all three of them. But yeah.
Fair. It's a good representation. And then we'll end off with Bomb Busters.
Bomb Busters. Holy moly.
Tell us about it.
This one is a deduction game, a cooperative game. And essentially what you're going to be doing is you have access to wires, and everybody else has access to wires. These wires are all numbered, and you're going to be working together to make sure you cut them in not a particular order, but just you want to make sure you're not cutting the wrong wires. So I want to cut 8s. I have 8s in front of me. I have to figure out who else has 8s in front of me, because on my turn, I have to choose to say, I'm going to guess your 8 is there. So not only are you guessing that they have that number, you're guessing where in the sequence that they have it. It makes a lot of sense when you see it on the board. As I am speaking out loud, it sounds kind of complicated, but once you get it going, it's actually really interesting to see happen. And the cool thing is like you grow and learn as you play through this game. It has like, what is it? It says on the box. 66 different missions. So this game is packed full of different experiences that just like add tiny twists to the base of it. And it's kind of neat.
And I think what I'll add too is it's really interesting because the first 8 missions are essentially the tutorial, and the 8th mission is the final exam where you kind of play with all the usual base rules. But it teaches you really quickly and easily. And I'm not the biggest fan of like tutorials in games that kind of walk you through and want you to come back to it. But the way this one was done was so skillful that if there's an element that you're not really particularly clear on, you can always come back to a certain mission, or if you're showing to people that maybe will struggle with the rules right away, you can start at the beginning, and it's still really fun for everybody else, and it's still really engaging. But once you open those boxes,
yeah, it turns into a whole other game.
The amount of game in this game is just unbelievable, and the way, like, there's little, I don't want to spoil anything because I want you to experience all of that on your own, but the missions in it, like, you think you know what you have in store. you don't know what you have in store.
Mhm.
I'll tell you that. And it's been a while since I've been so pleasantly surprised by a cooperative game. And I think when we first played it last year, we showed it to pretty much every single friend group.
Oh yeah.
We showed it to our family. We played it so many times. It was probably one of our most played games last year. And that is Bombusters. Now we go to the coveted section of who should win and who will win.
This is obviously just us guessing. We don't know anything.
We know a lot.
We're just spewing opinions, people.
Well, in fact, I have been right the last 3 years.
I have not.
So there's a pressure to correctly predict
last
this.
3 years?
I have gotten this correct the last 3 years when we did these videos.
Ooh.
And I will retain my streak, hopefully, today.
Well, you get to go first then.
Well, I think we'll both declare who should win.
Oh.
Ready? And we're going to point to the box that we think should win, and then we'll describe why.
Win.
Should win first, and then
Okay.
we'll win next.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. So we both think that Bombbuster should win.
Mhm.
Why?
What? I kind of said it when I was explaining it, but this is just like a really interesting deduction puzzle that's cooperative. I don't see a whole lot of like cooperative games that I'm interested in coming back to necessarily, and maybe that's just like my lack of playing cooperative games. But I also, when I think about it, there's not a whole lot of cooperative games out there. So I think Bombusters is a really interesting take on a cooperative game while adding like a self puzzle to it that really ticks the logic brain in most people's heads. So I think for that reason, like alone, it can kind of it should take the win. But also, for what it's worth and what it has, this game is stuffed full of good stuff. And if you're just looking for like one game to play around the table, because maybe you aren't a collector and you want to just have like a small collection, Bombusters is like perfect for that too, because you're gonna have a different scenario every time you come back to it. So.
And there'll be favorite scenarios that you'll want to come back to. You'll want to play them again. And if you think back to the winners of this award, Codenames, Catan, like these are games that have stuck out that you've played so many different times. And I think this game really fits that aspect. I think Tyler mainly hit the points that I was going to say, like the production value of this game is incredible. The amount of content you get in this box is unbelievable. And I think the reason I think it should win over these two specifically is just because of how different it is too. Like there's a lot of games I think tried the whole like solve the bomb aspect, but I think this game executed flawlessly.
Flawlessly is a high praise, but it is like pretty good in the way that you are working together to do it. Yeah, I guess like in terms of the other games and like opinion wise, because that's what this one is, I just thoroughly enjoyed Bombusters. It tickles that brain part of me that like I look for when I'm playing games. And it's always nice to be able to, again, like play a co-op game that I know a bunch of other friends will enjoy. It's easy to teach. It's pretty easy to get into as well. And like we've been saying, is you can kind of start wherever you feel like your game group is able to jump into, and then you'll learn and grow and be able to like progress yourself through the not storyline but missions.
So many missions and so much fun to be had. So that is our who should win. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I guess like that's actually no, that's probably it.
No.
That's it. That's it. I'm done.
Done. Okay. So now for the most important part. Who will win? Yeah. And this is have got this right the last 3 years.
I know.
Will this be the 4th year that I get this right?
I feel like I just always let my...
Well, you only got it wrong 1 year. You got it right 2 of the years.
What year did I get it wrong? Last year
remember.
I got it right.
Did you?
I remember that.
Well, we can check the videos and check it all. But we will now declare who we think will win the Spiel.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you start.
I just think that it has so much hype right now. Flip 7, like, everybody is talking about it. The simplicity of the game, but still the ability to bring people in. It's like this entry-level game that gets everybody involved. I think that it reaches people who aren't necessarily gamers, and then also kind of sticks true to like hobby gamers too. So it's got a lot of roundness to it, even though it comes in a box. that I just think that because of that, it captures a larger audience that is probably more interesting. And for that, like, I think that it has the edge on it. I don't necessarily agree that it will win because obviously I said Bombbuster should win. But if I had to look at it just like objectively, I think that Flip 7 definitely has the edge between all three of these games. But then again, like, it's a German award. Maybe I'm missing something, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts. I was really close to putting Flip 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I do, for the exact reasons that you said, is I do think the universality of it, the easy introduction to it.
The accessibility.
Like,
it's, yeah.
But what I will say is the marketing campaign for this game has been incredible. For the Flip 7.
It has, yeah.
And I think that maybe construes that a little bit further because at the end of the day it is a card game that there's a lot of card games that are similar to, and I think you can introduce people similar to. The design of it, the accessibility of it is definitely improved and is definitely higher up on that level, but I don't think it does too many like innovative different things that like 20 years down the road I'm going to be like, we need to pull out Flip 7 again. Where I do think that for Bombbusters, where I think there is that simplicity in the rule setup, doing the single cuts or the double cuts, but then there's a scalability of like teaching players that, hey, there's different rules that can come into the game as the game progresses. Also bringing people in at the base level in and saying like, hey, welcome to the game. Here's what it can look like later. But at this very base level, anybody can play and anybody can be part of the table. The universality of what games typically that win this award look like. So I do think it will win because of that, because also like the longevity of it. Like I think Krakel Orakel is super fun.
It is.
I think it's a game that I will want to pull out, show a ton of people. We also have it in German, so it's a little bit more challenging because we have to translate all the cards beforehand, and we're slowly kind of writing all of them. But I think this is a game that we will show people and we'll play again and again. But I think this one to me just inches up over these other two in hopes of winning that big award.
Don't get me wrong. I said Bombbuster should win. I just don't
You think Flip 7 will win? I think
Flip 7 will. And I think there's a big distinction there. It's really interesting because it's like, my opinion is Bombbuster should win. But like when I look at it objectively, I think Flip 7... I mean, you raised a good point.
It has a good shot. Yeah. I also think it could.
All three of these games have a good shot. That's why they're here.
That's why they're nominated.
Yeah. That's probably what I should also mention. Like, these games are all good. Like,
get all these games. You'll enjoy all of these games.
Yeah, is all of these games are good. We are being very nitpicky at this point, and I think that's what it takes to be able to like make your decision on who should win and what should win. Bombbusters should, because it brings me more joy. More joy than any of these games.
And I think it will.
Flip 7 will win because I think it's Flip 7 and everybody loves it, and I don't think it's going to die down anytime soon.
That's fair. So that has been our who should win and who will win. The Spiel des Jahres, or des Jahres.
Spiel des Jahres.
Somebody should teach us how to pronounce it properly because we've just been making fools of ourselves these last few years.
Absolute fools.
Fools. Hooligans. Hoodlums.
Hoodlums.
Hoodlums?
Hoodlums.
Well, for a question of the day, have you played any of these games? Tell us your experience about them. And do you have any predictions? Maybe you've had the chance to play all three. Maybe you're on the jury.
Whoa.
What did you vote for?
Whoa.
But with that said, there's also the Kennerspiel Award, which we will be taking a look in the next week or two and providing a very similar video. We'll give you an overview of the 3 nominees and we'll tell you who should and will win. And if that video is live, you can click it right here.
And just for reference, that in particular, that award is made and is newer than the Spiel, but it's been made to capture more of like a hobby style game. Yeah. So these are like not necessarily light, but they're more entry level, I guess is a better way to put it. And
they reach all and appeal to all and celebrate the joy of board gaming.
But who knows? Maybe I'm completely misunderstanding that.
You're not. Oh. We're sharing the joy of board gaming with our community.
Yeah, always.
And having fun.
Always.
Well, thank you so much for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, because we love talking and chatting board games, and we keep on talking and chatting board games with you.
And, of course, we want to share them with you and tell you about all the fun games coming up.
Ooh la la. Until next time, though, we will see you later. Bye.